Welcome to the GoPROcast, where we invite business doers who are changing lives by sharing their stories, their strategies and tactics, and who bravely talk about their failures that actually led to their biggest successes. Now it's time to go pro with Jeremy Torres. Today's guest is an entrepreneur and business owner with an expertise in marketing and business growth. He started Rialto Marketing in 2013 and has been helping service businesses simplify their marketing so they can grow with less stress. Most people overcomplicate marketing, but it doesn't have to be that way. And today, Tim Fitzpatrick is going to tell us why. Please give a big GoPROcast welcome to Tim Fitzpatrick. What's going on, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Jeremy. Thanks so much for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So now you said that you're out in Denver, right?
I am.
And it's nice and chilly for you out there.
Yes, it is. Today, I told you, it's 0 degrees out here. It's not always like that, but we got a cold snap. So
yeah. It's nice when it comes, though. I guess if it's not that way all the time, it's not like it's up north in Minnesota where it's always that way for months on end.
Yeah, right.
It's a lot. I think the weather pattern is getting so weird. I think it's going to be cold for you later in the year. I think it gets hot. It stays hot later, into December, January.
Yeah.
Trend I've seen over the last, 5, 6, 7 years. But anyway, enough about the weather because I don't want to rub it in too bad being down here in Fort Lauderdale. It's welcome to the show, and I started the show the same way, basically, besides the weather report, and that's just to tell us something good, partner.
Tell us something good. Well, it's we're in 2022, and things seem to be moving in the right direction with the pandemic. So I think that's all good.
It is good.
So,
yeah, give that shout out for the mask mandates going away and letting people make decisions for their own. And we're big supporters being Floridian. We're like, COVID, what? That was over in June of 19, I think. That's before it started.
Yeah. So, well, we're 2 years in counting deep. So,
ticking. Yeah. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
And it's all about marketing, right? It's how the media stages it and how the government stages it and how us as business owners have to live with it and school kids and such. So that's your wheelhouse, right? It's all about appearance and narrative, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
So how did you get into
I always talk about marketing. It's, a lot of people don't view themselves as marketers, but if you're a business owner, we're all marketers, because if you don't have marketing bringing in leads and new customers, you can have the best product or service in the world. It doesn't matter.
If no one knows you're there.
That's it.
Yeah. So which types of businesses do you prefer to work with? I'm sure you're good at it a lot because I'm looking at your website and you've got a lot going on there. But where's your fun house?
Yeah, we primarily work with B2B service-based businesses. So professional service providers, coaches, consultants, people that are selling their expertise as the main driver of their business.
Yeah, which now you're speaking my language. Really, that's what we do here at the Advisors. We have a little network of affiliate advisors, and depending on who the client is, we send the best talent there to help them get their business off the ground or out of the gutter, or we just take them, quite frankly, from the stratosphere to deep space, because we have the ability to raise the floor on any business. So what would you say that the best, let's start at the beginning. When you got into this, which was 13?
Yeah, 2013 timeframe.
So we were past mail in marketing, right? Past then, did you have a lot of, or do you still deal with mail? Do you find mail coming back because people are getting stuff in their mailbox?
Yeah, most of the people we work with are not doing much direct mail.
Yeah.
That's not to say that it doesn't work. I think it still works in certain industries and has its place, but it's not typically a tactic that we look at.
So what has been the best for you lately then?
Well, the best thing is the thing that I think always works, which is getting the fundamentals in place.
Mm.
Too many of us skip the fundamentals and then wonder why things aren't working. It's very easy to just get overwhelmed with all the information that's out there with
Yeah.
marketing. There's so many different channels, so many different tactics, all these people saying you need to be on TikTok, or you need to do Clubhouse, or you need to have a podcast.
Makes your
To
head spin.
me, it's not so much the tactics. Any tactic can work, but the fundamentals are the fuel that you put behind the tactics. So if you
Mm.
just jump straight to tactics, you have a car and you have no gas,
Yeah.
which is not going to get very far. So we've got to get those fundamentals in place. Your target market, who are your ideal clients within that market? You have to understand them really, really well and be able to enter that conversation that they're having in their head as it relates to what you do. Then and only then can you look at creating messaging that is going to gain their attention and their interest. And then you have to have a plan of how you're going to get that message in front of those people. If you do not have those things in place,
Yeah.
you're building a house without a foundation.
Kind of like being an alien coming to Earth and saying, okay, which country do I want to be a part of? And then saying, okay, first I got to learn the language,
Yes,
and speak their language to them.
that's it.
Find out what the I guess the way it's been taught to me is create that that injury, the illness, and then
Yes.
provide the cure. Really talk, but you got to know them to know how to put that pressure on putting the spotlight on what's wrong with their business that you can actually help with.
Yep. And when we can put that message in their words and not ours,
Yes, in the
it's going to
client's words.
resonate even better. We need to speak their language and not our own, because our own language is not going to resonate with them.
So how do you help the clients with that, depending what they want, or do they have to have a real good idea about what they do first? Because I think a lot of people, in the words of Stan Phelps, like to ride two horses with one ass, and it's impossible. Okay, so how do you get people focused to go, listen, this is the message and this is the client, but you can't, go after too many things with one.
Yeah, because we lead with the fundamentals, people
Mm,
tend to be attracted to us because they know there is something off
mhm.
with their marketing. Something's not working. Either they've been investing, but they're not getting the return they want, or they've been investing and they're just not sure what the heck's working and what's
Yeah,
not. They're not sure what the next step should be to get where they want to go. Inevitably we can tie that back to a fundamental or two or three that are missing or misaligned in some way, shape, or form. So typically, honestly, Jeremy, all it takes is like, who are your ideal clients?
yeah. Really
I
sitting
just asked
down
the
and,
question.
and a lot of people don't know that, right?
No,
They just
a lot
haven't
of them
thought
don't.
about it.
They think they do, but in reality they don't.
It's anyone who wants to pay me.
Yeah, yeah,
Good luck.
yes. Right? Anybody that wants to pay me, do you have a heartbeat?
Yeah.
And inevitably, look, most of us have made this mistake at least one
Oh, yeah.
time, if
Yeah.
not multiple times.
Over and over.
And we find that what happens is we start working with these people and they're not fun to work with. They
Mm,
may not be profitable. We don't get good results for them. Those are not ideal people for us to
yeah.
work with. The client's not going to be happy. We're not going to be happy. We need to get back to those basics. And that's where I typically start because even if you think you know who your ideal clients are, we still want to confirm,
Yeah. So you
right?
have a process. Is that your marketing kit, plan kit?
The marketing plan kit that we offer actually goes deep into the 90-day marketing plan that we use. Um, Looking at your ideal clients is really going to we're starting prior to the plan,
Wow. Okay.
right? Before we can put a plan together, we really need to make sure we understand who your ideal clients are, where they are, right? Who they are and where they exist. That gives us an idea of one, where you need to be to get your message out.
Yeah.
Um, but then also, once we understand who they are, then we can start to speak their language. That's when we can start to create messaging that's going to gain their attention and their interest.
So at that point, you can figure out which messaging vehicle would be proper, whether it's on LinkedIn or email or direct messaging, or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
Um,
And that really, it's going to depend on what business you're in,
Mm-hmm.
where you're starting from, what your budget and your resources are, and what your goals are.
Yeah.
If my goals are to 10x my business in the next 3 years, well, I sure as heck better have some resources to invest in this, and a budget to invest in my marketing. But if I'm a pretty established business and I want to grow my business 2x in the next five
Yeah.
years, well, that's a different plan,
Yeah.
right? So we have to take all of those things into account. This is not, a lot of people get one size fits all marketing advice, and that's just not going to get anybody to where they want to be.
Yeah.
We
So
need to
as a,
look at this from a holistic, 10,000 foot level, and then create a plan for your business based on where you are, where you want to get to.
so I'm a coach. We tout ourselves as business coaches, and LinkedIn is all over business coaching. Even though I'm more of a speaker, um, at the end of the day, it's all related. But I get inundated with LinkedIn messaging from people who are just blindly saying, "You're a coach. I help coaches. I get you leads. I do this and that." And so, what would your advice be to somebody who is relatively new, maybe the first year or two
Yeah.
of their coaching business, which is I know pretty well, and that's about where I am in the scheme of things, since I sold my business after 30 years, and just got into this coaching gig because of what I was able to do with these businesses over that 30 years. I thought I could help some people. But I'm finding a lot of coaches who have been in business 2, 3, 4, 5 years aren't much more ahead of where I am,
Yeah.
because of my tacit knowledge of where I came from. And they've just been kind of treading water, especially because of the last 2 years, set everyone back. So to get started up again after this whole thing, it seems like we're all at the starting blocks again, right? Almost even
Yep.
level playing field. What would some advantages be for someone to listen to this podcast and say, okay, here's my competitor. We don't denigrate, we don't put them down, but I want to get out and get a fast start because the country's about to open up again.
Yeah.
And the budget's, modest. Let's call it modest. What maybe 2 or 3 things to get them to the next step where they can then increase that budget based on some returns?
So let's just take your case, coach in the business to business space. Okay.
Yeah,
And I'm assuming that you've got some of these fundamentals in place.
definitely.
You know who your ideal clients are. Like, and honestly, people a lot of times say, well, I'm not sure. Well, you know what? Just pick.
Yeah, right.
Pick
Exactly.
one
Yeah.
and move forward with it and
Which one do you
test it.
feel? I think at that point you look to your heart.
Yeah.
Okay, which
And
one
just
moves you? Which one do you want to help?
nothing we do is set in stone. And
Yeah.
too many people feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to choose this and then I'm down this path. No, you can test this. LinkedIn is a great example.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just say that I'm a coach and I'm a business coach, leadership. Right. And I have said that I want to do leadership coaching for software companies, mid-level software companies, between, 50 to 100 employees.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Pretty specific. We can certainly go deeper, but we've got their software companies, 50 to 100 employees. That's all stuff that we can look at. That's data that we can pull right from LinkedIn.
Yes.
And we just go down that path and we start testing it, reaching out and starting to build relationships with people, with the appropriate contacts, right?
Yeah,
We've got the ideal client is the software company, but within the software company, who are our buyer personas?
That's the trick. The buyer persona, the person in the business is who you need to connect with.
Yes.
And not the business. That's the whole paradigm shift has to happen to say, I'm not a business to business. At the end of the day, I'm Jeremy. And I need to meet Steve with XYZ software.
So it's identifying the ideal client types, help you understand the companies.
Yeah.
Then within the companies, who are the people that are making the buying decisions?
That's right.
Those are the people that you need to start connecting with on LinkedIn, right? But you mentioned, Jeremy, it's like, man, I get the same thing. Honestly, I accept almost any connection request on LinkedIn as long as you look legit. Because look, I'm open to networking, but I also oftentimes I just want to see what people do.
Yeah.
Great. You wanted to connect with me? Let me see what you do.
Yeah.
And look, there's no perfect way. But what a lot of people are doing on LinkedIn, which you mentioned, Jeremy, is like they're asking somebody out on the first date, right? Asking for a connection request, and then it's accepted. They're at dinner and they're like, "Hey, do you want to get married?" I
Shoot,
mean,
I find it they're on the way to pick you up and say, hey, why don't you meet me at the motel instead?
yeah.
Let's save some time. Uh, particularly nice weather. What?
Yeah,
No, that old
they're
joke.
they are making huge assumptions
Hmm.
based on you're in this industry. I help this industry. You must need my help.
Yeah,
They're not taking the time. It's social networking. You need to get social. It's
yeah,
no different than the person that you meet at a networking event. You introduce yourself, they ask nothing about you, and they start throwing up about themselves.
sure.
Like, how
What do
many
I
of us,
watch?
yeah. I mean, how many of us are turned off by that? Most of us. So
Yes.
why would you do that on LinkedIn? I think you need to make targeted connections, identify those
That's
buyer
right.
personas that you want to connect with those people, and then start to do what you can to build that relationship.
Yeah.
And I
Find some
think it's a
commonality.
yeah, find some commonality, start to interact with them,
Yeah.
and look, if you see ways that you can help them, right? If you've done research,
Well, there you go. Research, doing some work.
yeah,
Yeah.
do the research, you know that you can help them, well then I think it's okay to say, hey, I
Yeah.
noticed X, Y, and Z. If this is something that's a priority for you right now,
Right.
I've got
And
2 to 3 ideas that might be able to help you. Let me know if you'd like to jump on
yeah,
a
we
call.
actually reverse that too. We once you have some things in common and you get connected and you start having some dialogue, we have something that we learned from the Noodleberg Daily Huddle called the virtual coffee. 15, 20 minutes, jump on a Zoom. How's your mom and them call? Not
Right.
business, just like you said. How are you? I noticed this. We just get to know each other. How's business going for you? What can I do for you? In a personal level, I know people that we have people in common. Isn't that guy great? Isn't this girl a champ?
Yeah.
And leave it at that. And then you start following them, supporting them. Jesse Itzler, the rule of threes, all right? Celebrate, compliment, and console. And then I have the JT fourth C, which is do it consistently.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they think of you,
Yeah.
when they know they have a problem. Or you send them something, hey, I noticed some other businesses like yours have a problem with this. How are you addressing that? Maybe you can give me some advice. Well, actually, we're having the same problem.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what worked for them, and now you're backdooring it, and they're helping you out.
I think too, you can also, the content you post on LinkedIn is very specific to those buyer
Yes,
personas.
that's right.
And you're talking about you can
Yeah,
add value, right? But you're calling out who you want to attract. You're talking about a very specific problem that they have.
and so
You can then add value in a
yeah,
post and then have some type of call to action. Try and get people to, hey, if you've experienced this, give me a heck yeah in the comments, or
yeah, I like it.
that, just trying to get interaction, because then when you get interaction, then you can start to comment with these people. You can start to direct message them.
Yes,
And, because if they're raising their hand saying, oh my God, yes, we've had that exact same problem, then you're direct message them saying, hey, Jeremy, I saw that
yeah,
you ran into the problem that I posted about. I've got a few ideas if you're still dealing with this.
yes.
Let's jump on a quick call.
That's a good one.
Man, I keep getting this fire. That's
It's
good. It's
new,
cool.
so I have to. I'm excited about it.
uh,
It's the Bradley bomb, atomic bomb answer to his. I've had the fire first, but then I had to put some sound effect for my guys on podcast listening.
I
So yeah,
love
but
it.
that's where it is. It's about interacting, getting them to start dancing with you, and then sending them the message. And now you're helping them. You're not soliciting them.
Yeah. And if
Now
you know,
this
if
is
you
a
think about it,
longer term strategy, though. It's not like
it is.
in the old days calling 150 people every day and trying to hard sell a close. But if you do it 5 times a day, right?
Yep.
If you make one of those 5 connections every day, 5 times you connect to people, one of those 5 you really connect and have a virtual coffee and you start having these dialogues. Well, at the end of the year, you got 300 people that you're now dealing with on a daily basis.
Yeah,
How much business comes out of 300 people that know you, like you, and trust you, and see your posts and know who you're helping?
exactly.
I mean, that's a Noodleberg. You said this fundamentals. That's exactly what we're huge on the huddle. It's a morning show that we are part of. Listening passively. There's a whole group of us on the side in the chat that are having our own little show. But this is all stuff that you're in Denver out there. We're here in Fort Lauderdale. There's a lot of Steve's got a national footprint, but it's what's working because it's echoing. We're sending it out, and now it's coming back. So it's really neat to hear somebody who we've met through, arranging these podcasts, singing the exact same song, because that's exactly what it is. The times have changed, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be difficult. I think a lot of people feel like they need to be everywhere in all the various channels. You don't. I mean, there are very successful businesses that have been built on, 2, 3 marketing channels to get them where they are. I think as you grow, expanding your marketing channels and diversifying your lead sources is important. But Rome wasn't built in the day. You have to start somewhere. The other thing you touched on that I think is very easy for people to miss, Jeremy, is you touched on, like, this is a long-term strategy.
Yeah.
Like, too many people with marketing are like, I need to generate leads today. I need to generate leads today.
Yeah, commission breath.
And inevitably, when people make choices on needing to generate leads today, they're desperate decisions that are made from a place of, of fear or worry.
Yeah.
And short-term decisions are rarely good things for the long term.
That's right.
So
yeah, it's definitely a habit. It's a muscle that you grow, and it's a mindset.
Yep.
Getting back to the GoPROcast, the proactive mindset is that consistency, doing it every single day.
You're never done. You're always doing it.
So once you have you got some habits going and you're reaching out, where's the money spent on that? Is it in the training, or do you do it? Do you have a do for me model or do with me model? What's where does it? How do you guys,
So
make some money off of the deal?
We do marketing strategy work, but our ideal clients are in a place where they need strategic marketing advice, but they are not at a place where they can hire a high-paid marketing executive.
Yeah.
So we come in.
I resemble that comment.
Yeah, I mean, so they have budget. They've been investing in marketing, but they don't have somebody that really owns it and is driving it from a strategic perspective and managing those that are doing the implementation. So we come in on a monthly, but they typically pay us on a monthly basis to manage their marketing. We are their outsourced marketing partner. We are driving it, but we are not the implementers. So think of us like the architect and the general contractor, but we are not the HVAC person or the electrician. We are guiding them to make sure that they are executing on the plan and that everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, it's like the third base coach.
Yeah, but if you're investing in marketing and you don't have somebody that, one, understands marketing and is guiding that from a strategic level,
right,
your investment is not where it
you're
needs
on
to
the
be.
hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to help people identify, get that avatar built, as so to speak.
Yeah.
And then help them with the messaging. And then do you show them how to use the LinkedIn, like it's the Sales Navigator? Is that something that you are fan of?
Think about the process like this. First thing we do is we come in and we identify where you're at. We have to get a baseline of where you are, and then we can work on putting a plan together. But if I jump into my car and tell my GPS that I need to go to the airport, it can't tell me how the hell to get there until I first tell it where I'm starting from.
Yes.
Same thing. We have to get that baseline. That baseline is a deep dive into where you currently are, what's working, what's not, where there are simple growth and profit opportunities, then we can actually put the plan together. From there, we always want to make sure your ideal clients are well nailed down, that your
Yeah.
message is where it needs to be, because if we just jump straight to tactics, we're going to waste time and money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've got to, it needs to be targeted. This is very sniper rather than shotgun approach.
Sure.
So we get those
Surgical.
things in place, we'll put the plan together, and then we implement and we manage and guide the plan, and
Sure.
we oversee the implementers. We make sure that it's executed,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of failed marketing has to do with improper execution.
I believe that because you
That's
don't have
what
their
we
voice. You know,
look
they
out
have
for.
to do the speaking for themselves because they're going to be on a virtual coffee. They're going to be on a phone call. They're going to be on a Zoom call or in their office one day. And now they know nothing about it because a virtual assistant has been doing all the chatting for them.
Yeah.
You know, they're having all these canned conversations that you can see a mile away. So
Yep.
you have to have that organic conversation with these people, but you're going to guide them into a position where they can actually get in front of the right people in the right industries, into the right decision makers in
Yep.
a way that they're going to accept and then have an organic relationship. Does that sum
It's
it up?
Yeah, think of it like we're teaching them, rather than to just cast a line in the middle of the ocean and figure out, see what you catch. It's no, I want to catch trout, and I'm going right down to the local trout farm and I
Yeah.
cast my line in there. I know there's a ton of trout in there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's all I'm going to catch. It's fish where the right fish are.
Right. So to hook up with you guys, Rialto Marketing, Rialto Marketing. What is Rialto? Is that a city?
So
I
that's a
see
good question.
I see the bridge. I see you got a
Yes.
beautiful, backdrop in your.
Yeah. So the Rialto Bridge is a bridge in Venice. That is where my wife and I started our honeymoon.
Huh,
So that's one reason why I named it that. The second is bridges help people get from where they are to where they want to
yes,
be, which is exactly what marketing does. So
I
that's
love it.
that's why.
So Rialto Marketing, or get back to my other screen here. I don't have a producer like Joe does. I don't have a Jamie. Jamie, that's my right hand. We could go another direction with that, but we won't. Growthmarketingplan.com. Growthmarketingplan.com is where you can go and you get a free marketing plan in minutes and submit some information, and your company will get back with them. But that's probably the two best ways to get a hold of you guys, right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Well, Tim, I appreciate you coming on today. What else can we do for you today? I know that you're here to help all of us, educate us, and I think you've done a hell of a job in that. What can we do for you today?
Oh man, you've already done it. We've had a great conversation. I appreciate it, and yeah, I just hope your audience is well served from what we've talked about.
We got a pretty smart audience. We talk a lot about this stuff, especially about your singing our song, LinkedIn. It's all
Yeah.
about LinkedIn. It really is. I mean, there's so many other things that we've tried over the years, all this stuff, but LinkedIn is the fundamentally, as you said, the number one way to get in touch with the decision makers and figuring out what people need and seeing it. They post it on there. If you open it
Yeah.
and watch it, engage with it,
Yeah.
and then there's an art with how you post stuff, and I'm sure you'd teach us all about that. So we
Yep.
appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you, and thanks for having me, Jeremy.
We will have you back on. Give me half a second. Let me say goodbye to the folks here who pay the bills. We appreciate everybody watching and sharing this podcast. Remember, Pick Cherries is now the way to share your podcast like never before. Pick a 60-second clip and share it with your friends, your teammates, your on your social media, and share your favorite podcast segments on Pick Cherries. The app is available on Android and on iOS. So we appreciate everybody. Remember to go pro.